I would like to call the order of the meeting of the Long Beach Community College Board of Trustees for August 28, 2015. I'm sorry, August. I wish. It was April 28th. I'm on vacation in August. There is no items to report out, but we'll first start with the Madam Secretary. If you could please call the order for our meeting, and we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Academic Senate President Karen Kane, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? And everyone could please stand. Karen?
If you would please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, if you could please call the roll of the Board of Trustees, please.
Irma Archuleta. Virginia Baxter.
Present.
Jeff Kellogg.
Here.
Doug Otto.
Here.
And Sunny Zia.
Here.
Next item, 2.4, report of closed session items. There is nothing to report out at this time. So we'll move on to item 2.5, the approval of minutes of the March 24, 2015 regular board meeting. I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion by Trustee Zia. Second. Second by Trustee Baxter on these items. Comments? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, please call the roll on approval of minutes of the March 24, 2015 meeting.
I have no roll. I have no names. I have no
Real
names.
early.
Excuse me, I'm laughing at myself. Okay, Irma Archuleta.
Aye.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Jeff Kellogg.
Aye.
Doug Otto.
Aye.
And Sunny Zia.
Aye.
Next item, 2.6. This is the introduction of special announcements. Are there any members of the board? Superintendent President Oakley, do you have any?
Yes, I do have one introduction. As is customary, every time our journalism program goes off to statewide, their statewide conference, they are always receiving many, many awards and representing the college very well. And I know we have that opportunity again tonight to talk about the many awards that they received this year. So for that, I'd like to invite our journalism advisor to come on up and introduce his students. Pat, it's all yours.
Thank you, President Oakley. Pat Keene on behalf of the journalism program, members of the board and the audience, happy to report that the Viking newspaper again earned general excellence for the JACC competition in Sacramento on April 10th. Also, 8 other students who earned individual awards. I'll ask the audience to hold their applause until the final list is complete, please. Eliza DeFleur, Elizabeth Cheruto, and Brandon Richardson each earned a scholarship. There were 10 scholarships awarded at Long Beach City College. Students earned 3 of those. Eliza also received the 2nd place for on-the-spot copying, and Brandon was recognized with 4th place for his profile article in City Magazine. Yuritsa Allegria was given 4th place for her magazine news feature, and Taisha Ali was given 3rd for her news feature, also in City Magazine. Brittany Lieberman placed 3rd for her mail-in photo essay, and Hunter King received honorable mention for his on-the-spot feature article. Round of applause for our student winners. Also, I'd like, for the first time, to recognize the huge number of colleagues who help support our program and make these trips possible. Again, I'll ask the audience to hold its applause Javier Mendoza, Cindy Fry, Chris Viola, Morgan Barnard, Neil Sharam, Nick Balsamides, Stacy Robinson, Christy Lutz, Shirley Brown, Yolanda Fernandez, Brad Moore, Gracie Mendoza, Cindy Smith, the entire English department, especially Rodney Rodriguez, Karen Rose, Allison Murray, Dean Jennifer Rodden, the student life staff of Derek O'Ree, Talia Robertson, Pam Garrison, Maya Cardenas, Connie Sears, Anita Gibbons, and many others. Thank you again for all your support at the college. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Pat.
We also last week hosted a very successful journalism day where 20 professionals, professors, and alumni shared their knowledge in small groups with students of ours over a 10-hour period. And we'll host High School Journalism Day on May 21st, coming up in a few weeks. Also tonight, my beginning news writing students here from Journalism 20 are here to learn how to cover government and the first stages of a neat exercise. Thank you again for your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Pat. Any others, Superintendent President Oakley, at this time?
No, that's all I have.
Members of the board? None? Next item, this is the reordering of the agenda, and I'm going to request that after our ASB President report, we allow our student trustee to give his report so he can do it earlier in the agenda. So the only reordering of the agenda will be to move the student trustee report to follow the 2.8 ASB President report. Are there other items that would wish to be reordered on the agenda? And I'll ask the question, even though it's farther down in board docs, is there any items that wish to be pulled in the consent calendar? I know it's further down, but I'm giving a heads up to our board secretary. Any? None? There you go. When we get closer to it, we'll ask again. All right, then that'll be the only reordering of the agenda for the student trustee. Then we'll move on to 2.8, which is the ASB President report. Welcome again.
Good evening. Good evening, Superintendent President, Board President Kellogg, and members of the board. We are excited to be approaching the end of the semester. Aside from finals on the horizon, we are recruiting members for the next year's student representation. Fortunately, I will be transferring and ending my long journey here at LBCC. We would like to invite you to our elections kickoff events on both the PCC and LAC on May 5th and May 7th. We hope you can make it out. Now that we're sourcing new student leadership for next year's cabinet, I hope that the work that we have put in to provide students' voices continues. We are pleased to see the direction of our requests and initiatives thus far. When disabled students asked for better accessibility, trees were cut and trimmed within 24 hours. Now, Student Support Services are administering a survey that mirrors the same goal the ASB Cabinet had back in January. Because of the focus groups and student input are the foundation of this process, we are assisting in moving this forward. This weekend, and never before, 8 student leaders from ASB Cabinet will be traveling to Ontario to advocate for resolutions at the Student Senate for California Community Colleges, representing LBCC. It's programs like these that develop strong, informative leaders. We will have a report when we return on the impact this semi-annual event has on community college students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is the student trustee report.
Good evening, Superintendent President Oakley, Board President Kellogg, and members of the board. First, I want to start off by giving a couple shout-outs. So thank you, Pat McKean and his class, for inviting me last week. I have a terrible memory. I think it was last week or the week before. Very warm welcome and a free bottle of water. Can't beat that, especially in this drought. Also, thanks to the board for meeting with me. I reached out to the board secretary that I wanted to have a meeting with each one of the board members, and they all replied, and it was good meetings. I got really good insight on being a student leader and got some politics in there. But there were really good meetings and very insightful, so thank you very much. Currently the ASB is receiving applications for the incoming ASB cabinet, as Lokalani Hunt said. As part of our elections process, we will be hosting campaign events on both May 5th and May 7th. May 5th is a Cinco de Mayo barbecue hosted by the PCC Student Council, and on May 7th at the Liberal Arts Campus, the ASB is hosting an ASB candidate forum type of event, and we'd like for all of you to attend to kind of interact with our student leaders, both outgoing and incoming, if possible. Both events are at from 11 to 1. The ASB is also currently discussing recommendations for the smoking enforcement. We've been delegating for the past couple of meetings, and we probably have a couple more. So hopefully we'll have a decision to, not a decision, but an enforcement recommendation for the board soon. In the past couple of weeks, I've also been approached by students with concerns about wheelchair accessibility, and I'm happy to say that Medhani Ephraim, he's the Deputy Director for Maintenance and Operations, has been more than helpful and expedient in addressing these concerns, beginning with the swift cutting of a tree that blocked a wheelchair ramp. Mr. Ephraim also attended a C Club meeting earlier today. C is the Students for Equal Education, and during the meeting, a lot of concerns were addressed, and he heard all the concerns with an open head, I guess you would say. And even during the meeting, one of the students said that they felt they were actually being heard. So again, thank you to Mr. Ephraim. I'm sure that all the students are very thankful for having the ability to speak their concerns. In a collaborative effort, the ASB and Student Support Services also working together to target key areas to provide resources to evening students. Planned surveys and focus groups in the coming weeks will give us a better understanding of deficiencies, if any. Last, April 13th began Habitat for Humanity's Week of Awareness. They asked the surrounding community to design doors and bringing awareness to homelessness and the availability of affordable housing. As student trustee, I was asked to be a judge for the door competition, and the doors were displayed all week in the Nordic Lounge. Special thanks to member Zia for showing up and showing some support. And that's the end of my report. And if I may, point of personal privilege, be excused.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
President Kellogg. Gus, would you repeat those dates? Because I didn't realize I was being invited, so I didn't write them down.
Absolutely. May 7th is here at the LAC, and May 5th is at the Pacific Coast campus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, there was a report that came either from you or from the ASB president regarding some recommendations for your meetings that you are using, or your guidelines for your meetings. And I know Trustee Otto, Trustee Archuleta, and the Communication Committee, I believe that's where I probably came into that loop on some of those recommendations about could also be incorporated potentially in the discussion for the board meetings as well. So they were actually very well thought out, and I believe it came from you originally, but on just some guidelines to how the ASB meetings are run, and if Trustee Otto, Trustee Archuleta, and that committee are looking at them, I think there's some really good recommendations in there as well that can be considered. So anyway, nice job.
President
now-
Kellogg.
Yes,
if
Chair
I
recognizes
may.
Trustee Zia.
Since Gus is about to leave, I just wanted to acknowledge him. I was going to acknowledge you in my board member comments. I think you did an excellent job, Gus. I really appreciate what you've done for your country and your community, our local community, and helping the underserved. You make me very proud, Gus. Thank you.
Our country.
Thanks,
Exactly,
Gus.
our country.
Thanks, Gus. All right, we're next to 2.9 public comments on agenda items. A total of 3 minutes will be allocated to each speaker, and we have 4 speakers. And in case people wonder when the meeting is convened at 5, approximately 5, there's been a question in the past, and at that point in time, if the cards are in, they're accepted. But once the meeting has begun, I've asked the board secretary not to keep taking cards. It hasn't happened, I think, except maybe once. And just to clarify, people aren't aware of what's going on with that. But we do have 4 speakers. The 4 speakers, again, this is on agenda items. And so, and again, the clock will be above us. It's automatic. It counts down, and when it reaches 0, it automatically shuts down the microphone. I'm not the one working that. It shuts down automatically. So the speakers start with Cindy Fry on item 6.2. Then we have Karen Roberts on 6.1 and 6.2. And then we have Dr. Lynn Shaw on item 3.1. And then Janae Hun on 7.5. So starting with Cindy, and then going to Karen. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you very much, and good evening.
Through a campus-wide memo sent out Monday from the Office of President Oakley, it was announced that the district will be proposing to hire 27 new full-time faculty members, increase the assignments of 44 classified staff members, and add three new classified staff positions. This is good news. Thanks to between $7 to $8 billion budgeted for California's community college system, LBCC will be one of many community colleges attempting to get back on track. As LBCC moves out of the dark days of the economic downturn and begins to move forward, the administration has the chance to continue building on a growing trust and respect between the nearly 700 part-time faculty members at LBCC and the district leadership. After the part-time faculty union's bargaining team was successful in recently negotiating a 5.07% salary increase for part-time faculty, the district and CHI will be going back to the table to reopen for an additional salary increase, working toward bringing LBCC part-time faculty wages in line with rates of pay for part-time faculty in surrounding community college districts, and to establish assignment rehire rights to improve job certainty and stability for qualified part-time faculty. As the district continues to make decisions about how the college will be investing its increased funding to improve student learning conditions, and while the administration and board of trustees guides the bargaining process, they must keep in mind who is teaching the majority of classes and the working conditions of those teachers. As the district and CHI go back to the bargaining table to reopen on salary equity and rehire rights, it will be prudent for all of those involved in the process to keep this in mind. Working conditions are learning conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Karen Roberts. Evening, Karen.
Good evening, President Superintendent Oakley, President Kellogg, and Board of Trustee members. In regards to Agenda Item 6.1, CHI would like to thank the district for resolving the grievance that we filed over the Me Too clause and agreeing to CHI's 2.07% salary increase. This is a positive step for all part-timers toward achieving parity, and I would encourage the Board of Trustees to approve this item. In regards to Agenda Item 6.2, the CHI negotiations team intends to come to the table in full spirit of cooperation and collaboration as we negotiate for employment stability for all part-time faculty through higher hourly pay and rehire rights language. The approximately 700 part-time faculty are integral to the advancement of the district's mission by providing excellent instruction and mentoring to students who are trying to achieve their educational goals. I encourage the Board of Trustees to show their support of the part-time faculty by approving this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Lynn Shaw, followed by Janae Hun.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Vice Presidents. I'm Dr. Lynn Shaw. I'm president of the Full-Time Faculty Union. This is starting to feel like a really comfortable place. I've been speaking to you for so long now. I wanted to talk about communication. Tonight you're going to hear a report about a study that was done that didn't mention morale and barely mentioned faculty. We are concerned that the study was done by an outside firm with limited experience with educational institutions. And we wonder if this is the right way to communicate with faculty, staff, and students. Instead, I suggest you just talk to us. In the past semester, the union has sponsored several luncheons. This semester alone, I think we're going to be doing 11. Last week, President Kellogg came to both the Pacific Coast campus and the liberal arts campus, and at each luncheon he had 25 people, and it was a very cordial, respectful, professional debate about how to best operate our college. Sonny has come twice, Doug is coming next week twice, Ginny has come twice, and Irma will be joining us this semester too. So I want to thank you for coming and talking to us. I think The classified, the students, and the faculty that were there really appreciate having that informal atmosphere to ask you questions, state their point of view, instead of a forum like this. It seemed like people were much more comfortable, and the dialogue was really nice. And I really want to thank you all and remind you that the way to communicate with people is to talk to them and listen to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Final speaker, Janae Hunt.
Good evening. And I was one of the 25 faculty who came to the luncheon with Trustee Kellogg last week, and I just also want to thank you for coming out and meeting with the faculty and staff. And I am speaking tonight just as our faculty PAC chair, and I stated this last week with our luncheon with Trustee Kellogg, and I'm just here to put this on the record. I'm reading an excerpt from the FPPC, which is the Fair Political Practice Commission. So the FPPC enforces the provisions of the Political Reform Act found in Government Code Section 81,000. This letter is in response to a complaint filed against the Long Beach City College CCA PAC committee. That was a complaint lodged from Trustee Kellogg against the PAC that alleged that door hangers produced by the committee to support Marshall Blasovsky were produced in corroboration with Dr. Blasovsky and should have been reported as a contribution to you. The FPCC has completed its investigation of the facts in the case. Specifically, the FPPC found that the allegation made by the complainant is unfounded. I repeat that it is unfounded, and that the committee did not work with the candidate in hosting the meet and greets identified on the door hangers. So we were really happy to hear this from the FPPC, and they did have some concerns about our reporting, our PAC reporting forms, and I'm very happy to say we are in complete compliance right now with the FPPC, so we're in good standing. Thank you.
Thank you. Now to presentations. The first item is 3.1, Communication Assessment Update. Superintendent President Oakley.
Yes, thank you, Board President Kellogg, and it gives me a great pleasure to introduce this item. Contrary to what you heard from Dr. Shah, this item has been discussed at length with several constituent groups throughout the college, and the point of this strategic communications plan is indeed to identify ways to better communicate with the community, with students, to better understand the various modes of communication that we operate under, to better understand the community, what the community feels about this college, and to extend a huge effort to better understand how to get information out to the college constituents, to the rank and file, about why we do what we do, how we make decisions, how we plan. And a lot of this is in response to some of the concerns that we heard previously. I certainly agree with Dr. Shah that the best mode of communication is one-on-one, but this certainly was no attempt to go around that or not recognize this. This is an attempt to find a third party to help us understand how to better communicate with everyone that we serve. And so with that, I will turn it over to Executive Vice President Bynum to introduce the item.
Yes. Thank you, President Oakley. We are going to have John Hope, who is our Director of Communications and College Advancement, introduce our two consultants who worked on the project with us, True North Communications and SAE Communications. I also just want to thank Heather Morrow as well. She was working with us on a part-time basis to help us launch this. We started this process at the end of last summer. It's been a very extensive, exhaustive process, And I think that everybody, we're looking forward to sharing this with everybody. We've already shared it with the College Planning Committee. We've shared it as well with the vice presidents and the president, and we will make the information available as well, the backup data available on the college website. So if anybody wants to take a look at that, they have access to that. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, trustees, President Oakley, Vice President Bynum. I'm very pleased to be here tonight to present to you the Strategic Communications Plan for Long Beach City College. So tonight we're going to cover the research that went into creating the plan, some goals of the plan, and a few top priority tactics. But first, why is a strategic communication plan important for Long Beach City College? Primarily because effective communications help support the college's overall mission and goals. The college's priority is student success, and this plan really supports that strongly. You'll see that theme over and over throughout this plan. We want to communicate the quality and value of Long Beach City College as a vital resource for our community. We want our internal and external stakeholders to be informed and engaged. We want to maintain and increase the support of our community, and through effective marketing programs, help meet our student enrollment goals. When we talk about communications and the areas covered in this plan, I want to be clear on what we're talking about. So things like public information, acting as a point of contact for the press and public, marketing and promoting the college, branding, making sure we have a consistent professional look and cohesive message, building and maintaining positive relationships with the media, issues management, which covers things like crisis communications, internal communications, and building relationships with our community and our government. So this planning effort, as President Oakley and Vice President Bynum said, it began last summer, and this was in light of a need to fill a number of key positions in the communications office. So President Oakley, Vice President Bynum directed this comprehensive review and assessment with the goal of creating a strategic communications plan. And the best way to think of this is a 3 to 5 year strategic vision that's really going to guide the way that the college communicates with a wide variety of audiences. There were 3 phases to this, and still ongoing. Research and assessment was phase 1, and we've now completed the initial plan development and we'll be moving into implementation. But I think it's important to emphasize that this plan is a living document. It's going to be revised and continue to be reviewed and changed as we move forward. So in a moment, I'm going to ask our research experts to come forward and present their findings. But first, a quick overview of the research steps. There were 4 parts. The research included a comprehensive community survey of 1,200 residents that Dr. McClarney will talk about in just a moment. We also had an internal survey of all faculty and staff. We got 490 responses, which was a very impressive 30% response rate. The research also included focus groups with key stakeholders such as staff, faculty, and student groups. 39 one-on-one interviews with stakeholders such as yourselves, the trustees, administrators, faculty, community members, and media representatives. I'd just like to take a moment to thank everybody who participated in these surveys. Without their input and your participation, we'd not have had the information that was used to shape this plan. So a quick take on what we were looking for. In the externally, it's all about perception. We want to know what people know about us, what they think about us, and where are the knowledge gaps. So this really gives us a way to address the communities and neighborhoods that may not know as much about us as we'd like them to. It also gives us a baseline metric to measure our future success. We can go back to our community in a couple years and see how we're doing. Internally, we were looking for, do faculty and staff feel like they're informed and engaged? Can we improve the way we're communicating? And what types of information do they want? And what types of information do they not want? And again, gathering metrics to measure our success. Internally, we can go back every year to see if we're working toward our goals. So as you know, this research effort began several months before I was hired. So it's my pleasure to welcome 2 of the partners that the college was fortunate to have engaged in this effort. First is Dr. Tim McClarney of True North Research, who will give you a high-level overview of the results of our community survey. Tim and I have worked together for many years. He is also someone who does research for the port, and his firm has done about 900 surveys of public agencies since 2002. So Tim?
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Tim McClarney, president of True North, and we are a firm that specializes in working with public agencies around the state in using surveys like this to develop a statistically reliable understanding of the communities and the customers that they serve. We've conducted over 900 studies for public agencies to date, and about 200 of those studies were for educational institutions. I mention this because as I go through today's presentation, which covers the highlights of the study, I might make reference to how the results we're seeing in this study compared to what we might have seen in other communities, and so I wanted you to have a sense for our experience. Tonight's presentation also really just sort of skims the highlights of the survey. There's a full report available with a lot more detail than we'll talk about tonight for those who are interested.